Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. Thank you for taking out time to check out this video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Greatly appreciated. Now, on this list, there is a bunch of Mario. But my favorite Mario game is what we're going to talk about today. Now, this is a Super Nintendo game. I used to go to the video store, and out of all the games that would be the most hard to rent, this game was it's almost never there. I got to play it like twice, and I knew that if I ever had a chance to buy it, I had to do it. And this is the legendary, the one, the only Super Mario RPG. Now, the reason I bring up this video store is because this game requires you to save, right? So you got to save your progress based on, how far you get in the game. You find a save point, but there's only a certain number of files that you can have. And the bad part about renting a game that's not short, that you really can't beat in the weekend, is you got to hope that when you get the game again, your save file will be there. And I brought up the video store because when I finally got the game back, it didn't have my file. So in protest, I deleted every file on the game. Now, was that right? Maybe not. But was I justified? I feel like it. So I did that. But enough about all that. Let me talk to you about this game. So this is my favorite Mario game because it has the most personality, especially up until that point, that we had ever seen from Mario. We get Charade Mario, where he gets to turn into any character to tell the story because he still can't talk. He can make the noise every once in a while, but no actual voices. And this was Super Nintendo, so there's no voice acting anyway. But this game took the Mushroom Kingdom and turned it into this vibrant place. Like, not the biggest place, but it filled it with characters and life, and all these different places you get to go into this game, all the different characters that you meet. One of my favorite characters in the Mario, I guess, encyclopedia or the Mario universe is Mallow. And I know a lot of people love Geno, and Geno is super dope. But Mallow was really cool because he was a young kid, and he's a part of the Tadpole family. I know he looks a little not Tadpole-like, but there's a whole thing behind that. But he's like the first real sidekick that Mario had. And I know he had Luigi, but in this game, Luigi's not a part of it. And so this was like another character that was introduced, like a brand new character, right? That was introduced. And there's several new characters that are introduced in this game. There's also a cool character named Booster, who, back in the day, we had the fan theory that was Wario, but they couldn't put him in there because the game was a Mario game that was licensed by Squaresoft. So we had to come up with our own theories about who was who and why they couldn't put this person in or that and all this other stuff. But we were just young kids rambling. But Booster was really cool. He's greedy and rich, very, very similar to Wario. This also is a crossover where you have, enemies becoming allies, not to spoil too much, but you get some familiar foes on your team, and that was really cool. And even the princess gets to get into the battle, and to that point she really hadn't done anything but drove a car, so it was cool to see them give her her own moveset and things like that. This game is everywhere that they put up the Nintendo Classic, so you can find it anywhere. So you should be able to play it relatively easy. It's not the longest of RPGs, but it's got the right amount of length, enough to get your teeth sink into without taking forever to beat. Sometimes you don't want a 100-hour RPG, and it's definitely not one of them, but it does the job. I really like the combat system too, because a lot of RPGs, especially back then, it was literally just pick the menu, and this does have a menu as well, right? It's not a active battle system per se, but when you do a lot of the moves, you can do extra damage if you time it right. And that little wrinkle, especially back then, was enough to kind of separate it, especially for me, to where I really like battles. Like, every battle is sort of its own little mini game, so it gives you something to kind of look forward to every time you're playing, and it helps the battle system not become tedious, because that's something that can happen in a lot of RPGs, especially in the 90s, where it was like, they hadn't really figured out a new wrinkle yet. So either it was the turn-based stuff, or it was like more of the Secret of Mana games. So this was like, kind of a mix between, right? You got the actual menus and everything. You got items, which have a lot of funny names for the different items. So it's a lot of personality, and I really like that about this game. It also made it to where Mario seemed like stronger to me, where I could actually see some of the moves and stuff that he was doing more fleshed out. So you have like the flower power, where he's, you know, throwing a bunch of fireballs, or you have the jumps where you're just jumping on the enemy over and over and over again and doing all this damage. And it kind of, you know, made Mario seem stronger than what I kind of used to look at him, because, you know, you playing in the game, he starts off, he's small, and then you got to get the mushrooms just so you can get big. This game was like, nah, Mario's the hero, he's gonna handle things. In the beginning of the game, well, throughout the game, you're punching stuff, you using hammers on stuff, and you know, it's really cool. And I think the Paper series tried to capture some of that glory, and also the Mario and Luigi games, but they never quite, to me personally, they're great games, they're fun, and I've played them and enjoyed them, but nothing quite captures the storytelling, the comedic timing. Like, this is one of the first few games where I thought, you know, there was funny stuff happening. And in most games, they'll have some sort of comedic scene, especially RPGs, but they never would really actually be funny to me. They would just be like, ha, you know, it happened. But there was actually parts in this game where, you know, even as a kid, I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like, that's a funny joke, or that's a little funny interaction that they had. So I definitely recommend this. 10 out of 10, whatever scale you want to use. To me, this is one of a handful of perfect games, and I've beaten this game probably a dozen times or so. And playing this just for this video made me want to, you know, run through it again, which I probably will. But that's how fun it is to me. If you played this game, let me know. You know, tell me what your thoughts are about it in the comments. If I deleted your save, there's no reason to bring up the past. We've all grown and become better people, and I hope that, you know, you can let that go, because I have. But as always, appreciate you taking that time to check out the video. Y'all have fun out there. Y'all be safe. Peace.